Alright, so, um, last night I actually had a pretty late night, and it wasn't for a very good reason. Well, actually, I can explain why rationally, but the reason why is actually really stupid considering that. And I know this probably sounds probably usual suspects related sort of thing, but this is not completely my fault. Because I don't want to get into the nitty gritty details because trust me, it's horrible. But I was gone from my apartment this entire day, yesterday. And pretty much everything in my apartment was spick and span. Only to find out that a certain part of my apartment, not going to say which one, was completely horrible when I got back last night. Again, I'm not saying where it is. I'm not going to say what happened. Because trust me when I tell you it's pretty gruesome and nasty. But needless to say, I had a rough night last night. Needless to say, I am going to be complaining to, my landlord about this because this really isn't the first time this sort of thing has happened where I'm gone for however long it is and then this particular thing winds up happening while I'm gone. So, there you go. Not good. And on top of all that, the problem is still there too. Oh boy. Again, not fun. Sorry, I have an itch in my eye. Ugh. And I'm actually very tired too. The sad part is, outside of that, yesterday was a pretty good day. I mean, I found out that my mom safely made it to Vegas a bit later than I would have liked, but she's safe. That's all that matters. That's what's most important. And last night I watched The Masked Singer with my dad. It was great. It was a pretty awesome night actually. Hold on, there you go. I felt as if I was a bit too close. There you go. So that was my evening. And I got an NFL pick to make, so I think I'll get things started. So good morning and happy Thursday, everyone. So let's get to my first NFL pick for the week. Alright, so regarding tonight's game, we have the Titans and the Packers. Considering that I'm still angry that the Packers won, I want the Titans to win this. And they should win this. So, I'm still mad that my Cowboys lost. Dak and Zeke's rookie year. That's the last time the Dallas Cowboys beat Green Bay. That's how long it's been. Not fun. But there you go. I'm picking the Tennessee Titans with the Green Bay Packers. It's not just, and actually, to be honest, this choice was very easy. That's because I want the Packers to lose, but the Titans, I think, are leading their division right now. They should be leading their division right now. Actually, they're destroying the division right now, if I recall correctly. So, there you go. And as long as I'm here, let me put this down real fast. And there we go. All right. So, Last night at the Masked Singer was actually a comedy night, which it was really great. It was fun seeing a whole bunch of comedians like John Lovitz giving out clues for who was underneath the mask. That was really great. And they did it and it was comedy roast night. That's the thing. So, the jokes kind of got a bit, what's the word? Not risque, scathing. That's the word, scathing. The jokes were a bit more scathing than what you would probably find, on Fox. Which, hey, it's comedy roast. Those are one instance where, naughtier jokes, for lack of a better word, are greatly accepted. That's just how it works. And it's really funny. And last night was a funny episode. Although, you can definitely tell that the Masked Singer can be a bit topical at times, because the vast majority of the jokes spoken last night was about how Nick Cannon has 12 kids from 8 different moms or something. Which, don't get me wrong, I get it. I mean, personally, I had zero luck with women myself, but honestly, I'd rather have that than the alternative. I.e., being a baby daddy to X number of kids, or do that, or get multiple women pregnant without getting married. I'd rather have what I have than that. I don't care how charismatic I am. That's just how it is. But the bride came back and did a White Wedding by Billy Idol. That was really good. Then, hands down, the best performance of the night was Snowstorm. Not Snowflake, Snowstorm. It's basically that might actually be the coolest costume design this season. I really think so. And it's not because that whoever is clearly under the mask is probably really, really hot. But, man, Snowstorm can sing. The Snowstorm isn't just a name only. It's in the dominating force that she had last night over her performance. And, of course, she was going to make it to the Battle Royale. Of course she made it to the Battle Royale. Why wouldn't she? She was that good. But before I get into First Loss, let me talk about the Avocado, who did Hit the Road Jack by Ray Charles. Oh, right. I should probably say Snowstorm did a Thank You Next by Ariana Grande, which, I'll be honest, for all those times I've ever heard Thank You Next by Ariana Grande, outside of Thank You Next, that's just one of those songs where, unless you're really listening for the lyrics, you have no idea what Ariana Grande is saying. No, seriously, if you don't try listening for the lyrics, it really sounds like that kind of song. I know it sounds stupid, but bear with me. But surprisingly, the bride lost, which that's one of the biggest upsets I think we've seen this year. I like that. We got ourselves, some pretty good stuff, right? But with that said, the bride did lose, and it turned out to be wrestling superstar Chris Jericho, which I remember Chris Jericho. See, I grew up in the generation of the 90s kids, but I grew up in that specific part of that particular generation where lots of kids started getting into wrestling, specifically for doing school sports, thinking that what you saw on the actually originally it was the WCW. Yes, I remember. Yes, I remember. Yes, I'm from that era. WCW, then the WWE, and now lots of kids usually see wrestling and think, hey, you know, they have wrestling in high school. I'm going to do that. It's not like that at all. I mean, to be perfectly honest, I went into wrestling in middle school thinking it was going to be like that, and no, it wasn't. So I didn't do it in 8th grade. The only reason why I got back into wrestling in high school was because my football coach actually recommended that I do it. And it was the same football coach who would later cut me a year later. So, I mean, yeah, I could probably say how horrible it was that I got cut. And yeah, I could probably say I'm mad at that particular coach for it. But give credit where credit's due. He was the reason why wrestling was in my life. I can't fault him for that. And it was really thanks to wrestling where, you know, I started feeling a bit more, you know, confident. And, like, it really gave me a sense. And I don't want to, listen, doing any sport has its share of difficulties. But I can tell you right now, and this isn't to make the other sports sound like weak in comparison, but having wrestled for as long as I had, pretty much all of high school and 1 year of college, it's hard. It's really hard. Like, I probably shed a lot of blood, sweat, and tears during my time, but it built character. So, I guess in a weird sort of way, you know, wrestling kind of made me a bit of who I am right now, both the good and the bad. Although, actually, wrestling is one of those videos I'll probably get into another day. But regardless, I should talk about the Masked Singer. So Chris Jericho was the bride, and the Battle Royale was between Avocado and Snowstorm, right? Here's what was funny about this particular song. Because the song used in the Battle Royale was You're So Vain by Carly Simon. Like, you're so vain. You probably think the song is about you. Okay, this was a bit of an inside joke between me and my late aunt and my mom. But we would sing that song to each other when making fun of my old man. Yeah, my old man's old school, he is. And, you know, he really does have that sort of, you know, swagger where singing the song You're So Vain is kind of, you know, appropriate to do. And the way that both the Avocado and the Snowstorm did it, here's the thing, the Snowstorm was clearly going to win. No doubt about that. But I think Avocado's strategy, because Snowstorm was just clearly the better singer. Avocado, on the other hand, like, I think he knew that obviously the Avocado was a dude. I think Avocado knew that if he legit tried singing straight up to the best of his ability, he was never going to beat the Snowstorm. But here's the direction he tried to take. Since it's comedy roast night, he thought maybe if he sang it in a funny way, that would work. And give credit where credit's due, it made the judges think, that's actually a way that, because remember, it's comedy roast night. If he's saying it sounding funny, that would be keeping up with the theme of what was going on. So give credit where credit's due, that worked. I mean, Snowstorm won, duh. Of course she did. Snowstorm was phenomenal. Unbelievable, even. And now going into next week, which is supposed to be like Fright Night, I actually can't wait to see what happens next. So, congratulations to the Snowstorm. But before I get into Um, the before I finish off, I should say the avocado. The avocado is Adam Carolla. Yeah, of the Man Show. And here's the thing. I remember a little bit of the Man Show. The thing I remember Adam Carolla for, and this really is, you know, listen, what I'm about to tell you is not indicative of who I am now. I was a dumb kid when I was watching what I was about to tell you that I watched. Because Adam Carolla has actually a rather iconic voice. And I remember him from being on Prank Anchors and Drawn Together. And, you know, obviously Prank Anchors is, you know, puppets, whereas Drawn Together is, you know, an animated series, so, you know, voiceover work. And I recognize that voice. So, there you go. The other thing I remember Adam Carolla for was those Klondike Bar commercials, because, you know, what would you do for a Klondike Bar? And Adam Carolla, because, like, there was like a sweepstakes going on where, like, I forget what the prize you won was, but Adam Carolla would start these commercials like, are you an average guy who does above average things? Like, I remember those commercials. They were funny. I like those commercials. Now I actually want a Klondike bar. I mean, there's lots of things I would do for a Klondike bar. But I know for a fact there's also a limit too. This is actually the first, this is the first episode of The Masked Singer that's not only made me think about life in general, but now it makes me want a Klondike bar. If you know, you know. So, like, favorite, share, hit that subscribe button, follow me on social media platforms, YouTube. I'm very humble to make this video for all of you guys to watch and enjoy today. Hope you have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful Thursday. Did I do Happy Thursday? Oh, Happy Thursday. And remember, if any of you guys want to talk or chat, I'm always going to be here to lend an ear. I'll always have your back. Take care and make good choices. 607 all day, baby.